What do we got up here next? Outgoing. These are all coming from the woman that I shot in the face. To Goodfellow, latest results. Yes, many of the test subjects still exhibited increased energy levels and compliance. The same euphoric response, but they inevitably crash. Testing clearly suggests that Chem's Compound X has extreme and irreversible effects when administered repeatedly over a long period of time. And yet we're still doing it, huh? Several volunteers in the old SCO2 group are barely verbal. When they do speak, it's to beg for more of the compound. I'm finding it hard to shine that up for you, Lawrence. So good you beg for more? Don't you dare use that. If we could dilute the compound, or even ease out the schedule, we could mitigate some of the addictive effects. Weaning some of the earlier test subjects off the compound might buy us time until Chem refines the formula. I need time, Lawrence. To Morley. Testing reports. Morley, I need you to compile some of the test results for the past month. Pull a subset from the reports we've forwarded to OCI if you like. So long as there are charts. Make sure the worst of the mortality reports are up front, will you? To testing labs. In response to testing group SC82. At the behest of the Office of Creative Incubation, we are applying varying amounts of unknown solutions to test subjects that are already mid-treatment. What organizational schema do you imagine would miraculously restore scientific rigor to this process? Stick to the current system. To Morley, testing reports. Morley, pick out 2 of the deceased test subjects and whip up condolence letters. Something saccharine and noble. Feel free to invent next of kin if there are none on record. Use the cheap paper. Leave the letters on my desk. I'll dispose of them shortly. Jesus. Invent next of kin if you have to. Use the cheap paper.
I always knew this colony was twisted. Heard my share of stories in the Groundbreaker. Seen my share of gruesome too. But nothing prepared me for this.
That's Halcyon for you. What'd you expect?
I don't know, boss. Way I see it, Halcyon didn't butcher these people. Other people did that. Other human beings.
They knew, Captain. Spacer's Choice knew all along what Adrenatime did, and they sold it anyway.
Somehow this doesn't surprise me.
Every time I think I've seen the worst thing Spacer's Choice could ever do, they find a way to surprise me.
Maybe Miss Ambrose can help fix things once she's cleared her family name. She could hold the board's feet to the fire. Make them pay.
Only one would find out where this leads. Come on. Brave mistake thinking that Ambrose is the cure and not part of the problem. Like, oh god. Oh right, heavy weapons are a new category. That's why I wanted to use long guns. Yeah, but the heavy weapons are so overpowered that it's like not even worth it. It's kind of annoying actually. Reload speed. I have to go all the way to 80 to get a decent effect again. Otherwise it's just crit. It is just crit chance. Yeah, it doesn't affect the gun's damage directly, just crit. I'm not running out of things I want to even upgrade anymore. Effects on enemies last longer, but I don't know how often I have that option. %20 chance that items you repair will become pristine, increasing in value and durability. But that only increases their durability, right? It doesn't actually make them like a higher rank of weapon. I'll reach this bonus here. If I happen to make any good effects, it's good to get a bonus, I suppose. Fast travel when encumbered. The classic Fallout fixer. There's always a lone wolf thing. Are there any more big surprise bonus damages? Besides the science weapon skills, I guess. Just reduce some incoming damage. Yeah, they gave me the chance to ultimately double science weapon damage if I get those two. Might as well start on it, I guess. I believe there's still an HIA phonograph I need to find here. Yeah, when I said Halcyon killed them, I wasn't talking about the passive idea of like, wow, it's so hard living in Halcyon. I mean, the systems of Halcyon are so gross that that's just what I expect here.
All I want to do right now is burn this place to the ground. I'm gonna have nightmares for weeks.
I feel like I took the two most innocent party members and snapped them over my knee by bringing them here, which is honestly probably for the best. They were way too starry-eyed about this place. The disappointing thing is just that in my dialogue options, none of them are me having the option to say that this is this place working as intended. They want to see that this place is like a travesty and a surprise, and how could this happen? And I just want to tell them that, like, this is how it's supposed to work. This is what the people here wanted. Look at this fucking caveman maze. What the fuck? Observation logs. Johannesson. Compliance testing parameters. SC1. Initial testing. Phase 1. Subject SC1 through K were given forms and writing implements and instructed to fill them out to corporate standards. Upon completion, forms were placed into an employer-sanctioned shredding device by technician. Test was then repeated. Observational notes. Volunteer SC1D Kendall objected to further testing upon completion of second set of forms. Volunteer SC1G after 5th. SC1B after 10th. No further objections for remaining volunteers. So having them fill out a bunch of tedious forms and then testing the drug to see which people react, how different subjects react to it. SC1E Hobbs was discovered to be functionally illiterate and tagged for early advancement to the second phase of compliance testing. Ugh. Objection from volunteer SC1D. Phase 2, SC5. SC5A through K were given visual demonstrations of multiple physical exercises. Thank you, testing assistant layman. This instructed them to replicate them in accordance to verbal instructions. SC5 complained of physical exhaustion after 5 minutes, missing numerous verbal cues. SC5A, 5E, and 5K failed out at around the 15-minute mark. Test was terminated after 30 minutes as the technician became too hoarse to provide instruction. So the technician got tired out, and then they couldn't give instructions anymore. So I don't know the limit of the other people. SC27. This is how deep the group numbers are. 27th group. Subjects are instructed to follow a closed circuit around the perimeter of the testing chamber for the duration of the test. At random intervals, technician is to provide vocal cue to reverse course. 1 of 8 test subjects remaining in SC27, or of the 8, 6 respond to vocal cues. D became aggressive and was removed. B collapsed 30 minutes into experimentation and was removed. Remaining subjects exhibited compliance with all vocal cues for the remainder of experiment. Made them run for 30 minutes. Observational data was compromised due to equipment failure. Technician Embry was found incapable of continuing operation due to incessant weeping and was withdrawn, flagged for disciplinary measures. Jesus. So making them do this was having an effect on the person doing the test because of it was just getting inhumane. Group 63, Phase 4. Subjects are isolated and instructed to select one member of their experiment group for immediate removal of the volunteer program. A volunteered for F, B was unresponsive for the entire session, C deliberates for 5 minutes and 36 seconds before volunteering E. D is unable to recall the names or numbers of her fellows, but has volunteered, each of them in turn, citing immediate need for additional Compound X injections. So just desperately commanding anybody, just pointing in every direction. Get them, just get anyone, just give me the drug. They're motivated just by their addiction more than anything else. E volunteers F. F refuses to comply with instruction for duration of testing session. G exhibits extreme confusion and extreme emotional distress. Demands morning injection. Time, as of previous note, is 2 p.m. Subject exhibits extreme aggression. Terminated. They're just freaking out about whether or not they're going to get their drugs or not, and then they kill them. Jesus Christ. This is getting into a really dark place that the rest of the game wasn't dealing with, but like, overall, as much as I have confusions about what they're doing with the tone of the dudes that you're murdering all the time in this game, this is an inevitable thing that needed to be addressed potentially, because what they did is they created a capitalist nightmare hellscape solar system that you can't escape from, and that's the setting of this game. But they also, like, in order to get the funding for this, the whole point was to be like, hey, we're the guys that made Fallout New Vegas, the guys that you remember that game you guys like to always brag is the one bestest Fallout and fuck Bethesda and all that? Well, we're going to do a spiritual successor to that classic that you always tout about being the bestest. And so by doing that, they filled the game with all of the same, like, obsessive looting of every room of having 500 items in it, the too many guns, the durability system, the probably too much combat, and then they incorporated these systems from the Fallout universe, including the drugs, which as I know now because I played Fallout 1, like right off the bat, they introduced drugs and addictions in the first Fallout game. They might have even been in Wasteland, I don't know, the first one. I think they were in the later Wastelands, but those could have been a response to Fallout specifically. So like you have all this combat and all these drugs, and they existed for their own reasons in the Fallout universe, but now you reincorporated them into this other world, despite the fact that this game does not exist for the same reasons that Fallout did. It is not a post-apocalyptic Mad Max wasteland where people are just going at it here and there, and there's little patches of civilization and all that. Like, you created a place where everyone here was brought with a colony ship as a part of an organization. There are no randos around here. Everybody is from Spacer's Choice or the other groups. And then it organized into this bizarre series of cities and planets and a hierarchy and class striation and so on. And so you have to explain where the fuck all the random Wastelanders are coming from, because they basically just copy-pasted the Wastelanders from Fallout 3, all those random dudes that you're fighting out in public. They just copy-pasted all those dudes, and then have to like retroactively explain it and be like, they were the dissidents. They didn't comply with Green Veil or whatever well enough, so now they're out there fighting amongst the monsters and scavenging, and apparently they all kill you on sight. I think I remember even not wanting to fight them when I first started the original series. Like, I wanted to like see if I could talk to them at all, and I would wait for them to shoot first until I just resigned myself to the fact that they're just all going to be boring, generic, basically zombie enemies that never think or feel, and that's really disappointing because it's like, that's gross. Like, it's kind of, it feels like a blind side of this game that is caused by the fact that they copy-pasted Fallout instead of making like something more Disco Elysium-y or something, in that they created a situation where the people that work for the company, like the companies are the bad guys, and yet all of the people that work for the companies get to be humanized and interacted with, which they should be. But all the people that dissent from the companies are like rabid dogs, and you just put them down. And it's like, but I'm them. I'm not working with the companies. Most of the enemies in this game are the people that are most closely aligned with me, potentially at least the way that they're introduced at the beginning of the game. And I think that's why I had this gut reaction of like, I don't want to fight them, and then was just kind of eventually just resigned to it, because that's clearly all the game had, and they just didn't seem to think about it. So I kind of applaud the fact that they're at least thinking about it and questioning, like, how do we explain the fucking thousands of people the player has killed at this point, because like, what the fuck is going on with the setting in this narrative? It's kind of incoherent and broken. And I guess they decided to do two birds, one stone. Let's also explain the drugs, because the drugs also exist for different reasons. It's not just a bunch of people just cooking shit up and trading it around in the wasteland. It's like, the drugs would have come from the corporations, which means that they're in favor of these drugs being used. And like, this is the part that's done better. The part where it's used to explain all of the random thugs you fight, I'm not crazy about. But the part where all the drugs being available in the first place is explained as being a series of experimental ways to control the population and get them to not only be more compliant and controllable because they're addicted, and also the drugs alter their personality to make them better workers, but it's also just ways to just squeeze more work out of them. Damn the long-term ramifications or the health of the individual workers and so on, because they never cared about that. This is a universe where you see somebody fall unhealthy and you say you just didn't have enough work ethic, you weren't pure enough. You blame them for the maladies that you gave them. Like, that part I like about this is the introspection about how the drugs are so available in this game, because they copy pasted onto from Fallout and then just didn't really interrogate it. This DLC, you can see them interrogating both of those elements, and one side of it's working and one side of it I think was just kind of broken from the start, and you can't really go back and fix it. Like, you just can't. It was a mistake the moment you decided to so heavily feature enemy marauders on such a scale all the time without taking the time to characterize them all better. Like, when I fought those guards that were guarding Blakesley, like, okay, these are mercenaries. They're here to do this job, and here's why they're there. Like, every time you come up with a situation like that, or like the pirates that came after me for a bounty, like, okay, I understand why these people are here. Like, it's a bummer I'm killing all these dudes or whatever, but like, they're here hunting me specifically on a contract. Like, okay, those characters, those are times where the human encounter is explained. And what I feel like what the game kind of needed to do was actively explain basically every human encounter. Like, just having these random fucking rabid dog human beings out in the wild, every single planet you go on practically. Like, you can throw monsters around willy-nilly, but the humans, like, you need an explanation for them, and like, there was a baked-in explanation last game in Fallout. That series has a baked-in explanation for why those characters are there and why they behave that way, and it fits the setting. This game, it doesn't, for reasons I've given so far. It just doesn't work. Not on that scale. It starts to get really gross. You start to really feel like Nathan Drake, just mowing down hundreds of brown people because, you know, they're there. And games are supposed to have action, right? And it's like, oh god, like, I know you're trying to justify them as being like some kind of rival Tomb Raiders that are like eviler than me or whatever, but it gets really gross after a few thousand kills, you know? After like a trilogy of killing people, you're like, I don't know, maybe Nathan, you shouldn't be treasure hunting anymore. Maybe this isn't a worthwhile way for your life to go because you're killing so many fucking people. And that like grossed me out in a way that it doesn't gross me out in the same way in The Last of Us, for example, because it's explained by the setting and also the characterization of the protagonists. Like, Joel is not plucky, cute Nathan Drake for a fun, lighthearted adventure that happens to be murdering people. Joel's a horrible human being in the first game, very obviously, and it's reinforced again and again. Like, he's made sympathetic, and you spend time with him, but that doesn't make him moral. So there's these things you're doing with these characters, and it's like the fact that they're no matter how you play this game, whether you're like a corporate lapdog or you're trying to burn the system down, you still mow down the marauders the same way, and that's making a political statement in this universe that should be processed. And I feel like this DLC is trying to band-aid over that, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. The game should have never been that way to begin with, is the problem. Group 83. God, that's so many groups of people. Subject is instructed to fire at shrouded target. 1. Industry standard fashion modeling assisted device, mannequin. Subject is not informed of nature of target. Jesus Christ. Wow. I really paused right before it got even darker, didn't I? So they're making them fire on a human subject, not telling them that it's just a mannequin. Subject has fired at target. Auditory reward initiated. Test reset. Subject has fired at observation window. Automated security enabled. Test reset. Subject has fired at subject. Other. They shot at each other. Automated security enabled. Then they're shooting at each other. Subject fired at target. Reward set. Subject refuses to fire. Subject refuses to fire. Subject refuses to fire. Ignition's addendum. Subject unresponsive. Test reset. So some of them shot at each other. Some of them shot... This fucking Chad here shot straight at the observation window. Correct. Jesus Christ. The moment he gets a gun, he's like, yeah, take him out. This is fucked up. Correct. From Blakesley to all personnel. Safety reminder. In light of recent incidents, I'd like to remind you all that as paramount, we all follow Spacer's Choice guidelines regarding safety and security. Yes, you will suffer professional and financial consequences if you are found to be responsible for damaging company property. But here at HIA, inattentiveness and recklessness also endanger highly limited company resources and threaten our overall production schedule. Think about what we are all here to achieve. Then consider what you want, whether you want that to be the one that let us all down. Luckily, any and all injuries suffered by the volunteers this past week have been minor. All testing will proceed as scheduled. A reminder that all personnel are advised to report to the infirmary if they experience any symptoms listed on the Notice LeBlanc provided earlier this month. It is strongly suggested that you use your allotted break to do this, as any losses to productivity will be reflected in your paycheck and/or indentureship agreement. From Rowan to Johannesson. Just a question. Hey, you and Andre talked about Tossball sometimes, right? Have you noticed anything different about him lately? I'm pretty sure he's been at his desk all night. I was going to congratulate him on his newfound productivity, but I took a look at his reports just now, and some of them have very basic formatting errors. It's not like him at all. Maybe you could ask him about it? If something's wrong with his terminal, he should probably get it taken care of sooner rather than later. Nope, he's on the drug, bro. From Blakesley to all personnel. Resets. If we're going to meet OCI's figures this month, we need to double our testing capacity over the next few weeks. To that end, I need everyone in observation to work with disposal to have the preparation time between tests. Have the volunteers exit at a jog if you have to. Just try not to let them see the bodies. Ooh. Fucking grim. People are dying, but the primary concern is that we need to do this faster. The thing that people are dying during. From Hammond to Johannesson. Hey. Look, Embry lost his head because he couldn't keep up with his work. He was never going to amount to anything, and we all knew it. The surprise is that he lasted this long. Fuck you guys. I don't know why my reports are any of your business to begin with, but I know how to use a damn computer. I bet Weaver put you up to this. I've been working twice as hard as anyone in this office in this past month. Now she thinks I'm going to outpace her. But maybe I'm simpler than that. Maybe it's simpler than that. These emails used to just be a nuisance. Now I'm starting to think maybe your loyalties to some other corporation. Andre Hammond. No, it's just you're on drugs. You're dabbling with the substance, most likely, which is making you make weird mistakes, never sleep, and now you're getting paranoid. It's leaking out into the audience. I mean, the testers. This is where you're getting fucking gross. I was not wrong to call out the fascisty looking stuff in... Hello. Oh, it's more of those guys. I was not wrong to call out the fascisty stuff that was going on in that break room or whatever it was, because, this is some gross Nazi shit. This is people just following orders as they just obliterate people. Just wiping out great numbers of people. Like, how many fucking bodies do you need to carry out? They had their technician, like, collapse into weeping and unable to continue the test because they couldn't process how horrible what they were doing was. And then everyone else just fucking shoved him out of the way and got right back to work.
I don't believe you've discussed side effects, Dr. Ambrose.
The drug's not ready for release yet. The side effects are immaterial.
So it's dangerous. Perhaps it results in some thrilling mutations. Forearms, maybe? Or a second head?
Try delusion, paranoia, gastric bleeds, violence, and fatal insomnia. Shall I enumerate every way our volunteers have died? Suicide by automech, suicide by hanging, starvation.
Cut the recording, Georgie.
You sure, boss? I just put on a new cylinder.
Stroke, spontaneous combustion, internal exsanguination.
Just turn it off.
What's going on there? Why do you not want to get that information? Was he realizing that being the person that has that information puts him in danger? And that she was, like, essentially, like, calling their bluff? Not bluff exactly, but just the idea that, like, it was gonna be... that maybe she didn't plan on letting them leave. Because you could make the argument that at that point, if she's just coming out and telling them all the stuff they wanted to know, that extremely... There's the question of whether or not it's because she's decided to kill them. She's like, I'll just say everything right now. Let's get fucking dark with it. And I'm gonna wipe you guys out. It's getting gross. Anybody else here that for some reason didn't respond to all the other noise? So this is the field where they had them fire at mannequins. That could have been people, apparently.
Huh?
Ow. Just doesn't hit the same way for me, apparently, huh? Gotta be a little more careful.
You want some of this? Boss, did you see that?
Yep, it's a cutscene. Oopsie. Oh, shit. Ow.
This place is near identical to the Edgewater Cannery. What the hell?
Yup. Is that traumatizing enough for you? Seeing all these what should be war crimes, but apparently not in this universe, happening in a copy of the exact copy of the cannery that you grew up in? Seeing any fucking parallels between what's happening to these people and what happened to your people? There's only so many more hints remaining. I have 2 different objectives of where I can take the phonographs to. I can take them to Georgie or take them to Roscoe. It looks like. I've got 2 options. How do I leave this place? Ah, I remember the hole in the wall. And here's the creepy break room. That's the bathroom, though. There we go. Get my ass out of here. There we go. This will get me out of here. That place was lengthy. So, kids, you want any more traumatizing emails? Am I gonna have to bring the adults on the next mission? Because this is... You guys are gonna be tapping out. So, Roscoe, you got any answers to go with this? Why are there still so many people here as opposed to them just blowing this asteroid out of the sky? You think Spacer's Choice would want to erase their past that way? Just take the whole thing out.
Hey, there you are. Been wondering how you were doing. Did you manage to find those recordings?
Can I ask you something?
Sure, I'm an open book.
What's the deal with Lucky Montoya?
Nice enough guy. Fashioned himself one of those professional gumshoes, like in the serials. They usually work for the board, rooting out dissidents and the like. Lucky, though, he was freelance. Worked for anyone who paid, no matter their allegiance. You ask me, I think the guy just likes snooping around in folks' terminal messages.
I mean, don't we all? Lex sent me his arm in the mail. Did she tell you that?
No, but I'd wager Lex does a lot of weird shit she doesn't tell anyone about. That's the sublight way. Gotta say, though, mailing a stranger some dead guy's arm probably tops the list. At least I'd hope so.
What was Gorgon like in its heyday?
Frenetic, chaotic, vicious, take your pick. I wasn't here at the start, but going off what folks told me about the early days, Gorgon started out with promise. The board's best and brightest were excited to work here, said it was a good posting. The project director had a vision and big, bold ideas.
Their best and brightest sure got a lot of people killed.
As long as the board gets their bits, that's just the cost of doing business. Thing is, the schedules coming out of the corporate office were unrealistic from the get-go, and they were trying to do the project on a shoestring budget. Couple that with the obvious personnel problems and toxic junk in the product, it was only a matter of time before it all went to hell.
Was that when the Marauders appeared?
Could have been, yeah. Marauders didn't just fall out of the sky one day. They were made here on Gorgon. How, though? That's the question. Sprat Shack legend has it they crawled out of the mines one day. Heard one fella suggest they might even be aliens.
What do you think?
I think Halcyon wants us dead. Look at Monarch. The planet's pure poison. Folks can't eat the food that grows on Terra 2 without getting sick. Who's to say it's not something in the dirt or the water? I don't have proof, mind. It's just a hunch.
Gorgon's a ruin now. What sent it over the edge?
Shit, any number of things. Fire, primals, sabotage. It didn't happen all at once. but it happened fast enough folks couldn't respond in time. Now, if you're asking how it all kicked off, might have been spies that did it. Corporate espionage, you know, anti-Cleos. I never did figure it out. Not about to try now.
You must have talked to a lot of the staff here. What were they working on?
Adrenatime. I'm sure you know it. Was a drug, something to make folks work harder, work smarter. Had a lot of nasty side effects. Didn't seem so bad to me at the time, but then I hadn't met the test subjects yet. The whole thing was real hush-hush. A lot of worry about corporate spies, especially from anti-Cleos. I probably shouldn't even be mentioning it to you, to be honest. Spacer's Choice, they're really not fond of spies.
What do you know about their senior researchers?
Not much, except that there was a whole gaggle of them, and so far as I could tell, they absolutely hated each other. Dr. Ambrose would hardly let me speak to any of them, but she complained about him all the time.
What'd she complain about?
Everything seemed like. Marion Blakesley, for example, lady who ran HIA, wouldn't return any of her messages. Not once, for years. Jasper Lowe, guy who headed up Chem, was high more than he was sober. He insisted on running special tests on primals, too. Law knows what for.
Anyone else?
Dr. Ambrose really had it out for this guy Lawrence Goodfellow. Ran OCI. Would lose his shit if he saw red on a schedule. By the end, I heard folks were turning in completely bunk progress reports just to keep him out of their hair. Had this little minion, too. An actuary named Clarence Mosley. Obsessed with quantifying every detail of his sad little life. Mosley was the guy who got me mixed up in all this. Asshole. I hope a primal ate him.
Nope, he's fine. More so than anyone else, I guess. So there was tension between the researchers.
Oh yeah, it wasn't just that Dr. Ambrose hated them. They seemed to hate each other, too. OCI pushed a ludicrous schedule. Chem made a bad product, and HIA returned garbage results. A regular merry-go-round of shit flying in every direction. It's no surprise it all fell apart.
I know you're half jesting, mister, but it's even worse than you say.
We've been to the Gorgon facilities. What Spacer's Choice did here is so much worse than you can possibly imagine.
My editor said my prose was too purple, and here I could have gone vermilion.
Never mind.
Not a problem. Anything else?
I want to review what the fuck's going on here a little bit.
Of course, I won't be going anywhere, so, you know, take your time.
Something happened here, but it was difficult to follow because it's like a long, drawn-out collectible thing. Georgie hid a phonograph in a locker in garbage processing in the chemical waste ravine. Can I listen to them again? Gorgon audio logs.
Roscoe, it's Georgie. If you're hearing this, you must still be holed up at the Sprat Shack. And you're not gonna like this one bit. I was trying to steal our recordings when things went crazy. I know. Like I said, sorry. And I'm gonna be in a heap of trouble if I don't get them, so if you want to save my bacon, you need to do it for me. I need the 3 interviews we did with Ambrose, this one here, plus another recording of my own. I left that last one with a guy who owed me a favor at the garbage processing office in the chemical waste ravine. I'll leave an automech near Stellar Freighting. It'll want all 5 recordings, plus a passphrase. Glacial Age. Oh, and don't listen to my log, all right? Just stay safe and keep your head down.
I was trying to steal our recordings. This is the interview with Ambrose. That's the one I was supposed to find last as a secret, but I think I found it first just exploring.
Tell me about the production of Adrenatime, Dr. Ambrose. I hear Compound X is a unique challenge to work with.
It's temperamental. It must be refined under tightly controlled circumstances at tremendously low temperatures.
Do you compound it with anything else? Tell me more about your refining process. Our audience is conversant in the sciences. Very detail-oriented, so don't be afraid to get technical.
Last time I met you, you spoke like a groundbreaker builder sprat. Why the sudden airs? And such specific questions? Does your minder know what you're up to? Does he suspect you're a spy?
Pardon me.
Hello. Yeah, I remember that. You're gonna be in trouble if you don't get them. So Georgie was betraying Roscoe. It's drugs, so she's probably like Ambrose knew that she was a spy. She's probably a spy for Auntie Cleo, because since that's the drug company, the most especially druggy company. So okay, so I do think I want to give them to Roscoe, not this mech or whatever with the glacial age password. This seems to be like another corporation. This would be a dumb thing to do.
Did you manage to find those?
Found them all.
Well, I'll be damned. Now I can finally get off this rock and go home. I know it's not much, but take the last of my bits. You've earned every single one, friend.
Did you know that Georgie was interviewing Olivia Ambrose on her own?
She couldn't have been. We were together all the time. Except, oh shit, my weekly calls with headquarters. What could she even want to ask Olivia Ambrose about? Doesn't make sense.
Production details, ratios and measurements, ingredients, that kind of thing.
Good fucking law. Headquarters would kill me if they knew. Right after they killed her. Hell, being stuck here might have been the only thing keeping me alive.
Was there something going on between you and Georgie?
No, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it seemed like there could be, when we were servicing the phonographs, or sharing a beer, but who'd be interested in some forgotten old bastard like me?
I can see the appeal.
Sure. Nice of you to say. Sorry. Not much in the mood for a witty repartee, what with the world-shattering revelations and all. Any other horrible truths you want to reveal to me? Or can I get back to my drinking?
I don't have any more details.
Listen, I appreciate you telling me what happened with those recordings, but I need some time to think. Got a lot to process.
You do that, buddy.
Yeah, I'll just... yeah. See you around.
So can I have made copies of all that? Just saying, like, I would have liked to have copies of all of the things I just spread around so that I can, you know, maybe spread them around a bit myself. In case corporation this or that just clamps down on it all. I don't even actually remember who Jordy works, or not Jordy, Roscoe works for. I'm trying to remember if I even knew. Definitely not for Spacer's Choice, because they wouldn't be interrogating. They wouldn't be like, get them out of here if they were the in-house propaganda machine. That just raises all sorts of questions. Unfortunately, I don't think that,
This looks like the SMC. After you, boss.
I'm not sure if I would
Stick
strike...
together. Ain't no one dying on my watch.
I'm not sure if I would see the public reporter people as being the people that would really get anything done in this universe. Here we go. The final location. Maybe? Pam. Is Pam friend or foe? Are you the robot I met earlier? Did I kick you?
Welcome to the Adrena Time Synthesis and Manufacturing Center, brought to you by Spacer's Choice. This productivity automechanical unit is at your disposal. Its normal duties involve the management of legacy operations analytics. However, due to the promotion, demotion, death, or injury to other managers of this facility, This unit is now the acting manager of the following departments: reception, human resources, accounting, technical support, manufacturing, distribution, security. Please direct any questions about those departments to Pam. Answers not guaranteed.
You just run everything here. Man. Someone was stuck in here with you for a while, weren't they? Like, they were stuck with you for so long, they managed to see a face in this part of your thing, and they just drew a little mouth and eyes and eyebrows to make it seem more like a face, because you were the only not human contact they had. Jeez. You the only one here? That'll make this easy.
According to this facility's hierarchy, there are 0 acting managers at this Spacer's Choice facility. Not to worry. If a middle manager cannot immediately be replaced, Pam can safely oversee 3.176 departments. When you're in a productivity pinch, Pam can pick up the pieces. Uh-oh. It looks like there are intruders in this facility. Protocol recommends speaking to the head of facility security right away.
Which is, you. But you're managing more than 3.176 departments.
Management stretched thin? That's okay. With safety protocols disabled, Pam can manage 12.678 departments with an estimated worker fatality rate of only 4.83 per week. After all, Pam's purpose is to answer one question. How can I increase your productivity today?
I don't think you increase productivity by killing 4 employees a week. What's with all the bodies?
Did you know that keeping your workers alive boosts productivity?
You don't say.
That's why every PAM unit comes equipped with the latest Spacer's Choice weaponry. When PAM's emergency combat protocols are activated, your investments are sure to be protected.
I think you unprotected them.
Due to power consumption, combat protocols cannot be activated when PAM's power is below 73% without deactivating managerial processes. Spacer's Choice policy dictates that managerial processes take priority. This unit's power rating is 57%.
How can I recharge you?
Hate messing with tangled cables or confusing batteries? With PAM, you'll never have to. Just pop in a Firefly brand industrial strength battery, and PAM's ready to go. Out of batteries and need productivity now? No problem. Just hook PAM's power source up to another automechanical, and PAM will get your employees back in line in no time.
Can you override that behavior?
PAM is fully customizable to fit your preferred management style. With the correct override codes, you can alter any of PAM's behaviors at will. Some limitations apply. Spacer's Choice does not accept legal responsibility for any injuries or traumas sustained after altering PAM's behaviors. See manual for details.
Okay. Never mind.
How can I increase your productivity today?
Gotta find one of those 2 things probably, unless I want to just... She might start shooting me. So you're a productivity automechanical.
PAM helps each and every member of the Spacer's Choice family be the best they can be. When you're managed by PAM, your workday gets unjammed.
Managed. You're actually in charge of people?
Don't think of PAM as your boss. I'm just your pal. Here
Worse.
to make sure that every member of the Spacer's Choice family stays on task and on schedule. With Pam at the helm, you'll never be overwhelmed.
You're not a friend, you're a dialogue tree. How do you keep people more productive? Blah, blah. How do you keep people more productive?
Feeling down? Pam is loaded with over 1,000 encouraging messages, each designed to make you feel like an important member of the Spacer's Choice family.
Is one of those messages a
Schedule
raise?
slipping? Not to worry. Pam tracks all of your deadlines and has the tools to whip your efficiency back into shape. You'll be a team player in no time, thanks to Pam.
How about healthcare? Maternity leave. I never let some rust bucket boss me around.
Uh-oh. Has dissident propaganda corrupted your workforce? Not a problem. Pam comes equipped with a military-grade N-ray cannon and a coat of our patented plasma proofing. With a 98.3% riot suppression rate, when Pam is here, your metrics have nothing to fear.
Never mind.
How can I increase your productivity today?
Oh no, have you been unionizing? Don't worry, I have. Gun. Wow, alright. Tell me about this facility.
The Adrenatime Synthesis and Manufactory Center is where Spacer's Choice's newest product is being created. Get a leg up on the competition with Adrenatime. You are now in the lobby. The floors above you are the offices, the manufactory, and the Adrenatime synthesizer. The floors below you are the sublevels and the synthesizer reactor. How can I increase your productivity today?
Pam, I need a boost in my productivity. How about some motivation?
Remember, Spacer's Choice is a family, so overtime is really family time.
Oh.
A happy team is a productive team. So please remember to meet your merriment quota of 3.47 hearty laughs per hour, or 6.85 sensible chuckles. Thanks. Spacer's Choice likes to maintain a positive work environment, so if you have to cry, please do so in the supply closet. Reminder, please do not reheat your salt tuna in the company kitchens. Save that savory smell for your own micro apartments. I really need you to be a team player. Don't forget to add an exclamation point and a smiley face to your company messages. That's how we know you're having fun.
Because it was mandated.
Reminder, please do not Spacer's Choice likes to... Remember...
That one's so bad. Remember, Spacer's Choice is a family, so overtime is really family time. So you just gonna hang out here? Are these people that got in when I opened the door? Is that why you're at the front door right now? That might be what's going on. Yeah, why can I sort by armor rating here, but not in the other screen with the other characters? That's just kind of frustrating. See, so I have like 60 and 60. Do they both have better than that? He does. Not much better here. I got really lucky that one time, apparently, and not so much since then. We were getting a bit overloaded. We kind of still are, actually. Are you cool? Employee benefits. A gun. The Wall of Swords. Let's see. Is this a science weapon? Does it count as a science weapon? I think the other thing might have counted as a science weapon. Definitely don't want any of these. There, that's some clearance. I think at this point I need to process some of these consumables and shit. I've got too much clutter. I'm still at like 200 with most of my stuff cleaned out, and that's no good. So she's not stopping me from coming in. I guess it's assumed I'm allowed to be here, because it is the reception area. Messages. From Elyson. Elyson to Hyde. Lost my ID. Rosemary, sorry to bother you, but I lost my ID. Don't know how it happened. I have a very strict system for organizing my desk. Somebody probably took it. Can you deactivate it and get me a new one? From Hyde to Liu. Seen Fifey? Hey, Rosemary. You seen Fife around? Pam's old battery is having trouble holding a charge, and all the sparks keep disappearing. All my spares keep disappearing. You know how it goes around here. If something's disappearing, Fife probably swiped it and put it in the facility's office like a trophy. Since your desk in the lobby isn't too far from facilities, I was hoping you might have spotted him on his way to or something. If you do, tell him Mike Liu has 3 packs of Spacer's Corona to trade for the industrial strength Firefly battery that disappeared last week. I'd appreciate it, Mike. Inter-office stealing. When they said that they were taking something and storing it somewhere like a trophy, at first I thought they meant that like it's like a pet dog. Alright, so if I want to bring her in combat mode, I need to either find the override controls, or I need to find the battery. Facilities. Either way, we're exploring, so no surprises. Oh, that one's just not on. Ah! There's a cell. That was easy. I do need to go to probably to a vending machine, I guess, and if you can sell to those, I just kind of purge my excess items that I'm never going to use, which is most of them.
Happy day of the week, employee. I hope you're excited for today's placeholder meeting. How can I increase your productivity today?
Pam, engage combat protocols.
Emergency combat protocols cannot be engaged at less than 73% power without proper authorization. Please ensure that this unit is fully charged, or present your override password.
Replace, override code, fuck you, I do what I want. Replace Pam's battery.
This unit's power rating is 100%. Great! Emergency combat protocols are now available. Error. Employee's biometric ID does not match this unit's designated manager. Proceeding with verbal management test. Pretend that this PAM unit is one of your employees who's been working long hours. What would you say to give them an extra pep pill in their step?
Lie. Persuasion. Inspiration. If you can come in 5 hours early tomorrow, that'd be great. He sounds like the guy from Office Space. That promotion's right around the corner. Keep putting in those hours.
PAM is equipped to talk about your career goals. On average, employees managed by PAM units go from assistant to associate roles in 15 years or less.
Wow.
My door is always open, unless I'm recharging. Verbal management test complete. Result. Employee is a Spacer's Choice manager. 94% certainty. Engaging emergency combat protocols. Stand by.
Oh, as on my team. I was gonna say, like, didn't you just confirm I'm your boss? Oh god, Pam, where are you going? I should be worried, I think.